Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Hello everyone and welcome to Ask Rob and Rob, the show where you get your questions in and we give you our best efforts at an answer. And that format's been running for a lot of episodes now. It's a popular one, so let's continue that roadshow and remind you how you can get involved and get your very own question answered.
Yep, oh so simple. Give us a call on 013 808 00035 or go to propertyhub.net/ask. Just come up with your question, send it over, and you'll soon have your answer.
Right, let's listen to our first question in from Tom.
Hi Rob and Rob, thanks for the great content you're putting out. You've inspired me to get into the buy-to-let world. I've currently got a second property going through. I'm a bit concerned that because of everything happening with interest rates and the possibilities that they're going to increase again and house prices may take a dip. I've got a property going through at the moment and I'm worried that if it does go through, then it could potentially be worth less in a couple of months' time than what I've actually paid for it. I'm wondering what my options are. Appreciate any guidance you can give on this.
Tom, thank you for your question. And I'm going to just say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you buy and your property a couple of months later goes up by 5%, down by 5%, or whatever. Because unless you are going to flip your property, then it doesn't matter what the property market does in the first few months. What you should be focused on is what will the property market do over the next 10 to 20 years. Because you can't go and shop in that gain if it goes up over the first few months, and nor will you be out of pocket if it goes down in the first few months, because it's only on paper that that number has changed. And unless you choose or are forced to sell, then you won't feel that loss. Emotionally you might, but that's your choice. You shouldn't really be bothered. So over the next few months, property prices may dip slightly. But you know what? Over the long term, they're going to go up. Certainly that's what I believe, Rob believes, and most other people who listen to this podcast believe. So if you too believe that, then you should get out of your mind what the next few months hold. Because you're never going to pick the best time to invest in property. Deliberately, anyway. You may get lucky and look back over history and go, wow, I bought in the absolute best month to buy a property. But the chances are you won't. And actually, Tom, I'm going to be really harsh on you. I think if you think this way, you definitely won't buy at the best time. Because actually, history shows us that the best time to be buying is when normally most people are scared. And if you're worried about a little drop over the next few months, then you're definitely not going to be buying when most people are scared. So sorry, Tom, it's a bit of tough love on this one for you, but you shouldn't care because it doesn't matter. Focus on the long term because that's what, for the majority of us, property is all about, and you will be well rewarded.
I'm with you, Rob, on the tough love. Hope you received that well, Tom, because that'll be a very powerful and valuable lesson for you if you can internalise that one. Okay, let's move on to our next question from Ben.
Hey, Rob and Rob, Ben from Bristol. Love the show and everything you guys do. Always amazing. Quick question for you. I don't think you've answered this one before. If I'm thinking of setting up a limited company to put my portfolio into, how hard is that? What's the barriers to entry there? I guess I'm thinking things like mortgages. Do lenders want to see a credit history? So do I need to set the limited company up for a year and let it sit dormant before I do anything? Or is it just as simple as once you've got a deal, set yourself up a limited company? Usually you can get a mortgage as long as you've got 25% down. Right, anyway, I'm making it up. You're the experts. You tell me. What's the best way of going about it? Thank you ever so much, guys.
Ben, nice easy one here. So when it comes to a limited company from a mortgage perspective, you can think of it as just a wrapper around the property for tax purposes. So lenders don't mind if a company has no history and nothing else going on. They actually prefer it if it doesn't have anything going on. They don't like it if you're putting a property into an existing trading company, for example. And there are lots of other good reasons why you tend not to do that as well. But from their perspective, if you have a pristine new company that's just been set up, nothing has ever happened in it, that is absolutely fine. Because they look straight through the company and look at you. So you as the director of the company are still going to be assessed in exactly the same way as you would if it were a personal application. They're still going to be looking at your income, they're going to be looking at your credit, and you are going to be personally guaranteeing the mortgage. So I get why you're asking the question, because you think of setting up a company as setting up a whole entity that is separate from you. And it is a separate legal entity, but from a lender's perspective, it really doesn't make much difference. So you can get an accountant to set the company up for you, or you can do it yourself. It's dead easy, and you don't have to do it way in advance. The process is so quick and easy. You can find a property, have an offer accepted, then set up a company and apply for a mortgage. You can do it that way round. So don't get hung up on the how, because it's really easy, but instead focus on whether it's the right thing to do in the first place. For many, many people these days, a limited company is the way to go, but it's not for everyone. It is dependent on circumstances. And we've put out a YouTube video on this, so go to our YouTube channel, Property Hub UK, search for limited company. You'll find that video and that will give you some pointers on whether a company is likely to be the way forward. Once you've watched that, spoken to an accountant, determined that it is, then everything from that point onwards is nice and easy. So Ben, I hope that helps.
So thank you for your questions and thank you for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with the Property Podcast and of course back next week with Ask Rob and Rob. So until then, take care, have fun, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.